Hey guys, what's going on? All right, we're gonna have a little bit of fun tonight. Because I found this fun little. It's not even really a meme, but I found this thing about New Year's resolutions on YouTube, and I want to share it with you first before we dive in because I just think it's so cool. But before I share this little piece of fun with you, I want to say, number one, for those of you who may not be familiar with me yet, my name is Jen, the Generator, and I'm a high performance mindset coach. And I really, really love supporting women generate their own power. And what I mean by that is generate your own power to stop blowing up your life and start blowing up the beliefs that no longer serve you. Am I right? Pretty cool, right? Okay, so I want to share with you this little video before we get into my step-by-step process on how to be the generator of your own clarity. And we're going to do that tonight. I'm going to give you my recipe to do this. Okay, you guys ready for that? I also, before I share this with you, I want you to know that the more you talk to me, the more I can support you. I will actively come back and answer your questions, because this entire lesson, this principle that I'm teaching tonight came from research. So over the past couple months, I'm like, how can I really show up for people in 2021? What do people want, right? So I pulled all these different Facebook groups, right? I literally pulled over 15 Facebook groups, and I said, what is preventing you from stepping into your highest level of impact, the next level of your success in life? And across the board, it was clarity. People needed clarity. They didn't have direction. They felt directionless. And I've so been there. So I want to start the new year without going into this thing of like, we've got to set New Year's resolutions, because you know what, 9 times out of 10, we end up self-sabotaging ourselves because we don't hit those resolutions. And then we get into this negative cycle in our minds about how bad we are, right? Instead of really creating things that can pull us forward. So tonight I'm going to help you do that. You guys ready for that? Okay, so how many of you before we start have set a New Year's resolution and not completed it? If you have set a New Year's resolution, it's okay, and you haven't completed it, put a number 1 in the comments, just so I know you're with me, right? Participating here. Let me know. 1 in the comments if you've set a New Year's resolution and it has not finished for you, or haven't finished it. Let me know. And then check this out. This is a little fun tonight. Hold on, my heater is super loud. I'm gonna turn it off. I think that's better. Can you guys hear me better? There's not like a humming in the background. So look at this. I found this on YouTube, and I want to share this with you.
Easy on yourself. Will you change? Maybe, but probably won't happen in one big moment. It'll happen in thousands of little moments. Every time you choose to forgive or slow down, or be grateful or stay calm, each little moment that you choose what's what instead of what's easy. Faith instead of doubt, love instead of hate. That's where every change happens. Even if you fail 1 or 2 or 30 times, it's okay. You've got thousands of more little moments ahead of you. You'll get better. So happy New Year. God bless. And I'm off to ask my dad to get a bike. Bye.
How cute is she? Okay, I loved that. I just thought that was super cool, because I think that a lot of the self-sabotaging behavior comes from us not giving ourselves grace, not giving ourselves an opportunity to slow down, right? And understand that one little mess up is just a moment in time, right? So with that being said, I want to share a few things with you guys before we get into my step-by-step process. I've got a lot to go through tonight. So this is going to take us about 30 minutes or so. So just hang tight with me. And then ask questions as we go, okay? Because I really want to support you, and I've put a lot of time and energy into making sure that this is something that can serve you, all right? Okay, so first things first, did you guys know, I have a question for you. Did you guys know that people with clarity have 10 times the amount of confidence in business and in decisions than people that don't have clarity? Did you also know that more often than not, people that don't have clarity live in depression, anxiety, and overwhelm? Have you ever felt that way? So I'm gonna explain this to you. When you're living a life without clarity and depth of clarity, like really deep clarity, you're living in an endurance rat race where you're just enduring to endure. You're going through the motions, right? And it becomes exhausting. It becomes overwhelming. You become anxiety ridden. You become directionless. And then you start to beat yourself up, to create self-sabotaging behavior. But when you have clarity, when you have a clear vision of who you are, why you want what you want, and an action plan and a step-by-step process to get you there, that's when you're in true alignment and can create the vision that will give you the joy, the fulfillment, and the confidence that everyone's after. Okay? So I'm going to go through this process with you, and I'm going to read a couple things to you that I've got written down. So, clarity. What is clarity? How do you get it? I'm going to explain it to you right now. Clarity is a vision. Vision means the highest possible version of yourself. Dreaming about what the highest possible version of yourself is. That's a vision. So clarity equals that vision plus committed action. And I will define what committed action is in a moment. People think it's just taking one action. That's not the case. Committed action is a different definition that I've termed. So clarity is vision plus committed action gives you the confidence that so many of you told me that you want, the joy, the fulfillment, and that spark back, right? That spark. Vibrancy. But here's the thing. People think that everyone should have a purpose or clarity, and we don't. We have to generate it. We have to generate our own clarity. We have to generate it from doing some exercises to pull it out of us. Because if we just lived in this culture, we would constantly be fed and sucked into this endurance rat race of what the culture and external says that we should be, or we should do, or we should have, or we should want. And we haven't done enough self-awareness, self-reflection, asking the right questions to understand if that's what we truly want. So in the middle, where we sit, where we're trying to strive and reach and endure into these ideals that have been culturally put on us that we should do, that's where our discontent lies. That's where the overwhelm is. That's where the exhaustion lives. But when we retract that, we release that, and we allow ourselves the awareness and the time to understand what we really want, what's really important to us, how we really want to feel, how we really want to be, and how we want to make others feel around us, is when we gain momentum. And that's called value endurance. When you're enduring for a worthy cause, when you're enduring for a worthy pursuit that's important to you and your intrinsic values. And I'm going to show you how. I'm going to show you how. Pretty cool. Okay. So I'm super excited about this because this is how I found my freedom. This is how I got out of that rat race. This is how I healed all of the horrible behaviors I was putting on myself and the stress and anxiety that I was living in, and actually stepped into fulfillment, joy, and happiness because I found who I really am. Right? Found who I really am. Rediscovered, cultivated, generated, transformed myself by digging into my values. Are you guys ready to do that? Like seriously. This year can be anything you want it to be. But you have to get clear on what matters to you. So this is what we're going to do. This is, okay, one more thing before I move on to my next sheet. I've got a few of them. So the first thing is, I believe in this term. You know, we hear this thing a lot. Ask and you shall receive. I believe in act and you shall receive. Acting in accordance with your values, with your intrinsic wants, not the external. We've got to learn to ignore that and shed it. Let it go. Release it. It doesn't belong to you. There's no shoulds here. There's only get-tos. Okay, so here we go. You guys ready? I'm going to teach you a portion right now of my values to vision challenge because I think it's really important. Okay, this is like one of the first steps I do in my challenge. And I actually created an accelerated challenge for 2021. It's only 10 days. But this is what I want to share with you. Okay, when you know your values, what's internally, intrinsically embedded and important to you, when you know them, when you know yourself, then you can actually know what you want. When you know what your values are, what's really embedded and important to you, then you can actually know what you want. So your values is who you be, who you are at your core, what you stand for, what is meaningful to you, what is a worthy pursuit of your life. Your core values, and I'm going to help you break this down into 4 quadrants. Okay, don't worry. Who you be, who you are, that's your value system. It's like embedded in you, right? Then the want, deciding what you want, is what drives your deep desires, your dreams. What drives that? And why? What drives your deep desires and dreams? 9 times out of 10, it's your values. And when you're driven into things that culture says you should want or external says you should want, guess what happens, guys? Breakdown. Breakdown. Stress, anxiety, discontent, literally depression, anxiety, overwhelm, eating disorders like me. It can come out of addictions. Literally can start sabotaging your relationships. Like it's a nightmare. But when your wants are driven by your values and you know why, right? Then clarity happens right here. When these are in alignment, when your values are driven and driving your wants, and you know why, okay? Clarity happens. And clarity happens and you know it when it's like flow and ease and alignment. Have you guys ever felt like that where you're just like in your flow? You're so in your flow. You're so committed to it. It feels effortless. Like you're on your thing. It's just magic. And time seems to like stand still. Has there ever felt like that? I have. It's amazing. So that's clarity, flow, ease, alignment, right? Following clarity, you can create your vision. Your vision is your highest level of what's possible for you and your human potential. Highest level of what's possible for you, not probable. What's possible for you, not probable, and your highest human potential. We are limitless. I always say that. There's a quote I like, and right now what I'm doing and helping you do, I don't even remember who said this. Oh, I think it was like Tom Bilu. I like him a lot. There's a quote and it says, "We're mining for astronauts." So it's really interesting because when we allow ourselves this thought process and this mindset of growth and human potential and it being limitless and everything is possible, not probable, it's like we're digging out the highest version of ourselves, vision of our life. And when I say mining for astronauts, it's like digging down in there to really uncover what's really possible for us. Because like the way that Tom explains it, I believe, is he says like that was his idea of like the greatest thing you could be. It would be like an astronaut. So right now, creating this clarity is how you become and you mine for your own astronaut. Right? And it might be something crazy that you were like, that's not possible. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's not what's probable, it's what's possible. Opportunities everywhere. Okay? It's just untapped sometimes. So, all right. So now the vision is the version of you at your highest human potential. And this is always what's possible, not probable. Okay, that's vision. After this vision is created and you know what your highest version of you is, and then you're clear on it because you know what your values are and you know what you want, then you get into action, and action creates joy, fulfillment, and confidence. I know it might be hard to see. The light's kind of hard in here. Isn't that cool? What a cool flow chart. Wish you could see it better. Right? Who wants that? Who wants that? Who wants to live in alignment every day? Be in flow. Feel fulfilled. Feel confident. and be clear with a clear path and direction. Who wants that? Hello? Do you want that? I want that every day. I live into that every day. So next step. Okay, got all that done. So now we've got this. Remember I told you that I define action differently? Remember I told you that? Okay, so action. This is the thing where people get lost. And I because I know you're going to get clarity and you're going to start to answer these questions tonight that I give you, I know that the next thing is, okay, Jen, how do I get there? Okay, now I got my vision. What are my steps? Not to worry. I got that covered for you. It's like the next problem you've got to solve. But right now, we're going to get clear on your vision. So action is massive, committed, planned behaviors and habits from intentionally crafted, aligned, and intrinsic clarity. I'm actually going to take a picture of that and post it in the group. I'm going to repeat it to you. Massive, committed, planned behaviors and habits from intentionally crafted, aligned, and intrinsic clarity. Woo! It's not willy-nilly action. It's aligned action with your vision. Makes a difference. That's how you create. Makes a difference. Okay, the other term I want you guys to start thinking about, I talk about this a lot, it's called value endurance. Okay, so I know that people out there are like, Jen, I feel like I'm on the hamster wheel of life. I feel like I'm gonna pull my hair out. I don't know which way to go. I don't have the time. I'm pulled in a million different directions. I feel uncertain. I'm like literally stressed every second of the day. I don't know which is the best behavior. You know what I mean? Like what's going on, right? You're confused. And that's because you're not clear on your vision or your clarity. You're not clear on it. There's no clarity. So for me, what happened is I was just doing what everybody else did, because that's what I thought you did to get success. And I was totally unaware, totally disconnected, and just chasing the rat race, the hamster wheel, going. And I was miserable, exhausted, overwhelmed, depressed, stuck in eating disorders, and literally on the verge of dying. Eating disorders were killing me. Because I didn't have value endurance. I didn't know when to endure and when to release. I didn't know what to endure. But the thing is that going the distance and creating your vision is what's called value endurance. Because if you're sitting in your values and you're enduring a worthy cause that's intrinsically motivated, not externally motivated, then you can go the distance and create anything you want in your life. But if it's motivation from an outside external source, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. You're going to burn out. But value endurance is when you're using discernment to endure only that of a worthy, intentional, internal pursuit. When you're pursuing like that, when you're pursuing a worthy thing that matters to you and is meaningful for you, that's when you can endure forever. And you can actually create what it is you want to create. That's how I did it. That's how my clients do it. You got to get clear on your values, who you are, what you want, why you want it, and get connected emotionally to it. Get into committed action, aligned with behaviors and actual habits that are going to move you towards that. Okay. All right. So now we're going to get into a little bit more lesson. So for the next 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes or so, it won't take me that long. I'm going to show you how to break this down. Okay? Because we're going to go through 3 main questions that you're going to ask yourself in 2021. You guys ready for that? And I'm going to help you break it down into quadrants. This is super important. Super important. This is what we start with in my Values to Vision Challenge. I teach it a little bit more in depth in the challenge, but I'm going to give you an overview today. Okay? Because in my challenge, it's like we go through all of this and then we create a value system schedule, which helps you get into that committed action so you know you're in alignment. So you get the clarity and you're on point and you're in direction, right? You have a goal, you have a vision, you're going towards it every day. So this is the thing. We talked about this. Values are the vehicle to your vision. So getting clear on your values is the vehicle to getting you into your vision. But what are your values? What are your values? Oh, Melissa's asking. Yeah, I'll respond, Melissa. Let me just get through this and I'll respond. Values are the vehicle to your vision, but how do we find them? And we find them by asking ourselves some questions. And the difference between high performance people, the difference between people that are successful, the difference between people that create their vision, live in alignment and fulfillment, is that they're self-aware. They know who they are, they know what they want, they know their weaknesses, they know their strengths, and they have a clear, committed action plan to get there. That's the difference. Okay. So these are the 4 quadrants that I have people review when trying to uncover and transform their lives, meaning transform the stories that they're telling themselves, the beliefs that they might have, transform these things into things that can actually add value to their life. So values are all about who we be, right? Values are all about who we be. So who am I? Who do I be? What's important to me? What's meaningful for me? And I like to break it down into 4 quadrants. Oh, okay, Melissa, I get it. Thank you. I want to break it down to you in 4 quadrants, okay? So I take 4 quadrants: health, relationships, career, and leisure. And what I have people do is brainstorm here who they want to be in each of these areas of their life. And I'll talk about the circle in a minute. Who they want to be in each of these areas of their life. Who do you want to be? What's important to you? What is meaningful for you in each of these areas? So for example, for me in my health, what's really important to me in my health is freedom. I stand for that. That's power for me. That's agency. If I'm healthy, I'm free. My body's not going to inhibit me. Right? I have my own agency. I can make my own choices because I'm healthy. No one's deciding for me. I'm not on a bunch of pills. Doctors aren't having to navigate my life, right? That's freedom to me. Just an example. Career. Who do you want to be in your career? What's important to you in this area of your life? Right? For me, it's all about service. I want to be in service. It's a value to me. It's what I stand for. It's super important to me to be in service. Generosity. Right? Helping other people, supporting other people, sharing what I've learned through my life, through my education, right? Relationships. I'm all about connection, man. I used to think I wasn't. I used to hide behind disconnection because I didn't want people to see my ugly, see my raw, my gnarly, my bad, the stuff I was stuffing away because I didn't think anybody else had it. I thought I was just full of all these problems and issues and I thought it was all me, right? But I hid because I didn't want people to get close to me. But what I realized is that connection is super important to me in my relationships. I don't want to talk about the weather. I don't want to talk about small talk. Don't come at me like that. If you want to get into deep, meaningful conversation with me, I'm all about it. But I don't want to talk about the weather, right? It's important to me. What's important to you? In these quadrants. What do you stand for in these areas of your life? What's important to you? Leisure. This is super crazy for me because most people ignore this. Like, what do you really enjoy doing? Not what society tells you should do. I mean, I have these women come to me all the time. Oh, I really love to run. Really? Do you really love to run? Or does running serve something else for you? Like, is it helping you feel like you're staying thin? Do you think you have to run to be fit? Like, what's the story behind it? Or do you really just enjoy movement? Do you really enjoy something else completely? Like, I love to learn. People don't know that about me. Like, I spend most of my time reading, listening to podcasts, and educating myself. If I know something's going to pull me forward and that's how I want to be somebody of service, I can't support and serve unless I'm learning. So this is important to me. Learning is what I do in my leisure. People think I'm always out exercising, and that's just a part of who I am, but learning is a core value of mine. And I can get health, I can get this freedom thing met any number of ways. I can eat healthier, I can drink more water, I can take more vitamins, I can go on more walks. It doesn't have to be like running and lifting weights all the time. Health can come in a number of different ways, right? And leisure to me is learning. So what is it to you? Like, what is important to you in those quadrants? Who are you? What do you stand for? You know, my daughter, for example, she like really is embedded in justice. She has been since she was a little girl. She's always about equality, right? Everything has to be equal. She wants everything to be fair and right. And so that's a value of hers, right? But my values are really about freedom, connection, service, and learning when I break it down. That's who I be. That's who I am. I want to feel connected. I want to feel free. I want to feel like I'm being generous. I want to feel knowledgeable. That's how I want to feel. And I'm connected to that. Right? So when you break it down like this, you can say, okay, this is what's really important to me in these areas. And you might have 100 in each of these areas. The more the better. Get self-aware. Ask these questions. I've got them here written for you, and I'll show them to you in a minute. Ask these questions. And then rate yourself. This is my bullseye. Rate yourself. Okay, so for example, my health right now is pretty good. So I'm almost on the bullseye. I mean, there's some things I could probably do, but I'm pretty healthy. Service, I could probably serve more. I could probably do more of this, right? So maybe I'm out here. Learning, I am way on the button there. I plan in my day. It's a part of my value system schedule. I am planning learning every day. It's part of who I be. I feel aligned when I'm learning. I feel like I'm not an imposter. I feel confident, right? Connection. I'm probably here with connection because even though I'm super connected to my husband right now and my kids, maybe I'm not as connected to my parents. Maybe I need to do more of that in my value system schedule, right? Calling my parents every day, right? Okay, so here's my little, it looks like a constellation, doesn't it? Like on the stars. So this is my outlier. See that? Service is my outlier. I need to get more service to get more in alignment. I'm clear on that now. What can I do to be in service? More. Right? Okay. So here's the first things we wanted to go through here. So now that you have your value systems kind of broken down into quadrants, remember it's relationships, health, leisure, and career, and you kind of find the areas and the things that are most important to you in each of these areas, that's going to give you more clarity, right? Because you know what's important to you in those areas. And so now you know how you want to feel. You want to feel free in your health. You want to feel connected in your relationships. You want to feel that you're learning in your spare time. You want to feel like you're in service in your career, and whatever that is to you. So now your actions, behaviors get to pull all of these forward every day. And if they're not, you abandon them and replace them with things that do. And you build a value system schedule to do that. That's what we do in my challenge. So, first things I want to share with you guys here is this. This is super cool. I'll read them to you, and then if you have questions on them, we can go through it. But first thing is, who am I? And when I say who am I, who do I be? What's my being? How am I being? Am I being generous right now? I think I am. Am I being approachable right now? I hope I am. Right? Am I being kind right now? I certainly hope I am. I want to be. But in every action of my life, who am I being? And how do I want to feel? This is important to anchor to because we get caught in the emotion instead of the feeling. You guys know there's a difference? Emotions are wavering. They come in and out. They're cycle, right? They get angry. That's an emotion. But bitterness is the byproduct of it. You don't want to feel bitter. You can feel angry in the moment, but how do you want to feel after that? Make sense? So happiness is also like an emotion, but fulfillment is the feeling. Does that make sense? So I want to feel fulfilled every day. And who do I have to be in order to feel fulfilled every day? Well, I have to be someone in service. I have to be someone that's free. I have to be someone that's learning. I have to be someone that's connected. Do you guys get that? What actions and behaviors align with that I can put into my life every day? Money. That's a money maker. Okay? So who am I or who do I be? You can say it either way. How do I want to feel? How do I want to feel? I want to feel fulfilled. I want to feel super connected. I want to feel joyful. I want to feel confident. I want to feel certain. Right? Okay. Now we go to what do I want? What are my deepest desires and dreams? This is the thing I want you guys to really pencil out. So the first thing is what we went over on this. This is kind of the stepping stone. Right? So this gives us the base for discovering and transforming and getting clarity and generating who we be. Now, you can journal on this, you can write on this, you can ask yourselves questions. I always, in my challenge, we have an exercise we do with an iPhone. We actually speak it out, and we go through a very tangible exercise. But you can journal this out. Write on this, right? The next thing is, what do I want? What are my deepest desires and dreams? This is where women get stuck because they feel guilty for wanting things. They feel guilty for wanting abundance. They feel guilty because they feel like, oh, I should be happy with what I've got. Right? My life is so good. Why do I want more? I shouldn't want a nice car. I shouldn't want a new diamond ring. By the way, I just got one because I wanted it. You get to want whatever you want. No guilt, no shame. You get to want whatever you want all the time, forever. If you want it, you get to want it without shame. If it's intrinsic to you and you really want it, you get to, without the guilt. I promise you, it's freeing. What if you could dream what's possible for you without putting that probable thing on? Well, I might be able to. Well, that doesn't make sense. What if you let go of that logic part of your brain and let yourself go into the limitless part of your brain and let go of all the external of what is expected of you or what most people do and decide that you get to do what's possible, your highest level of human potential, and dream it. What do you want? And in my challenge, again, we do this. Like we have we do these workshops of what do you want, and I have people pull it out of them. It's really cool. What do you want? And sometimes you don't even know what you want until you're in it. It's super amazing if you let yourself dream and envision your highest potential. What do you want? What do you truly want in your life right now? Okay. What are the deepest desires and dreams? Do you want more connection? Do you want an intimate relationship that's super connected and deep and meaningful where you can have crazy deep talks? Do you want to have more children? Do you want to go to your significant other and say, I really have this deep desire to adopt? Do you want to travel the world? What do you want? Do you want to create a huge legacy that changes things? Do you want to write a book? I have a client right now, she never thought it, but she wanted to write a book, and guess what? She's a month away from finishing her book right now. I have another client that had no idea she wanted to be doing environmental consulting until she did this exercise. Guess what? She's just about to step into her first summit for environmental consulting right now. Fully in flow, fully in alignment. Nuts! Never thought it was probable, but when you remove that and understand what's possible, everything opens up. Okay? Cool. All right. Next thing. Ooh. Okay, now let me ask you this before we go there. If you were going to go on a hike into the woods, I'll just use Idaho as an example, in the sawtooths up here, and you've never been there before, would you just put on your backpack and start walking? Or would you want a trail map? What about if you were going to sail across the ocean and you wanted to go to Europe on the ocean? Would you just get in the boat and start going? No. You'd need a map of the ocean. You'd need to understand how to get there. You need a map. Everybody needs a map. So, how do I get there? What habits and behaviors and beliefs do I need to embody to create my vision? What's your roadmap? If you don't have one, emulate it. Find someone who's living the life or a life that you want to live. Someone that's done it. Someone that's gone through the shift, who's transformed, who's created something out of nothing, who's maybe been in the same exact spot you're in. Mentor with them, ask them questions, coach with them, buy a course, do something that gives you the roadmap, the recipe to create it. And look, I don't care if it's me. I really don't care if it's me. I hope it's me, because I love to help people. But if it's not me, find someone else. Don't wait. Get your recipe. Everyone learns from other people, you guys. We don't just people don't come up with this stuff out of thin air. We emulate, we learn, we extract, we mentor, we coach, we invest in ourselves and our education to get the recipe. It's not about the person. They might have done it and you might love that about them, but you might not even like them, but you know that they have the recipe to live the life you want to live. Or the solutions or the roadmap to live your version of that. Don't wait. Don't wait. There is no reason to wait anymore. I always tell people, if you want to go to Africa and help children that are starving there, buy a plane ticket tonight and get on a plane. Because I'm going to say this over and over again. Life is now. We realized in 2020 how fast things can change. If that wasn't a wake-up call to understand, get your clarity, get your vision, and move, I don't know what was. But I'm here to wake you up. Your vision is a worthy pursuit. I don't care what it is. You were put here for a specific purpose. You have a divine purpose on this planet. And if all of us created clarity and lived into our vision with a plan, imagine what would happen to our world. I truly believe that this disconnect, the discontent, the anger, the madness that's happening in the world is because people are disconnected from their truth. They're disconnected from their clarity and their vision. They're disconnected from their own personal power. They're disconnected from what matters to them. And they feel powerless. My goal is to empower you to take it back. It's all possible. When I was I tell this story a lot, but it makes me emotional. But just 6 years ago, I was living in a basement. My husband we weren't married. No, 7 years ago. My husband and I weren't married. We were in debt up to our ears. He was living in a 2-bedroom apartment. I was living in a basement of somebody's house, literally, with my daughter. We were sharing a room. His kids were sharing a room with him. It was gnarly, right? But what happened in that moment? I stopped living into the external expectations and I got clear on what mattered to me. He got clear on what mattered to him. We created clarity, we created vision, and we went for it. We jumped the fear fence and we went for it with a plan, with a coach, with mentors, people we couldn't afford at that time. They had a recipe that I wanted. So, okay. So what I think I'm going to do for you guys then is, would it be helpful if I took a picture of these questions? Would this be helpful for you guys? Let me know. Do you want me to post these questions in the group? I'm happy to do that. I'm also happy to post that. So there's an actual PDF I have. It's a free PDF you can download that actually gives you this. It's pretty cool. So if it's helpful for you guys, I will definitely put this in the group if you guys want me to. Cool. Awesome, Melissa. All right. Thank you. So what I'll do is I'm going to put that in the group for you. I really would love for you to share if you have any big ahas doing this work and going through it. Thanks, Julie. I will definitely put them here, but this is powerful. So this is what I want to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you, wait, before I do that, I'm going to get ahead of myself. Listen, I'm going to ask you a question. Okay, if Julie, who's here, I know there's a lot of you still here. Can I just tell you about what I did for the new year? Can I just tell you? Okay, cool. So listen, I'm getting some yeses here, so great. I changed everything with my challenge. Because I'm constantly asking, this is what I'm doing. I'm constantly asking myself, am I serving at the highest level I can? So this is what I realized when I did all this polling and feedback. I wanted to accelerate it for you and make it even more simple. right? So it takes you deeper here, but in 10 days instead of 21. Because look. I'm busy. Like, I know you're busy. Like, seriously, I know you're busy. 10 days, step-by-step process. And on the other side of it, if you could come out with a value system schedule, meaning an action plan, right? Like we talked about. Where'd it go? I don't know where it went, but the action plan. A roadmap, a recipe on the other side so that you can live into that vision. You can actually act with the behaviors, the beliefs, the habits that are aligned with your values. So you're not in that rat race, and you're actually sitting in value endurance, which is where the success lies. And it feels like you're in flow because it's important to you, meaningful for you, valuable for you. It's your thing, not someone else's. You're not trying to conform. You're just being you, because you have a divine purpose. You being you is enough. You're worthy exactly the way you are, and your pursuit of your vision is worthy. It matters. You matter, your voice matters, and your mission matters. And I am so in your corner. I don't care what it is. I have a lady right now, she's on mission to help parents of autistic children. That's her mission. I have another woman who's on mission right now I'm supporting, who wants to help people heal from trauma. We all live into our vision. We all do what's like possible instead of what's probable, and our world changes. It does. And it starts with you. Okay, so here's the thing. I challenge you. Give me 10 days. 10 days. January 11th. Give me 10 days. I guarantee you, I'm not even lying, if you actually bake the recipe I give you, don't miss steps, it works. You will come out on the other side more confident, more joyful, and more fulfilled. I promise you. And with direction and clarity to take you into the new year and years thereafter. Cultivating, creating, generating your vision through clarity. All right, you guys. Thank you. I am going to pop the link to join my challenge. I changed it to $37 too. Like, I just changed it all. I improved it. It's 2.0 based on your feedback. You want it faster, right? Faster results, faster. That's what we're doing. Delivering it microwave style. I don't know why I'm snapping, but I am. Okay, you guys, I'm going to pop the link here. If you have any questions, let me know. And if you liked this video, if you think this is valuable, invite your friends to this group so they can watch it. I would really appreciate it, because I am on mission to, hi, my husband's in. It's only for women. Can't be in, honey. You get all the information anyway. But listen, this is what I'm trying to do. 1 million women. I am trying to positively impact 1 million women to use their voice, stand in their power, and stop blowing up their life so they can really start creating a legacy. Okay? Thanks, guys. Thanks so much. Okay, talk to you soon.